Today we're going to be talking all about the PPP and the EIDL loans that are available from the government and the Small Business Administration. I'm going to be going over each of the loan options as well as sharing my personal experience with applying for these loans. I actually didn't apply for the PPP, I applied for the EIDL, and I did actually get the grant. So I did want to go over what that process looks like, and I want you to be ready as a small business owner to be ready to apply whenever the site goes live, which should go live anytime between now and next week. So let's talk about it. What is up, beautiful people? TJ here with another episode. Today we're going to be talking about the EIDL and the PPP. So we're going to jump right into it. So the EIDL, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, is basically geared towards any small business owner. If you have 500 or less employees and you have been impacted by what's going on right now in the world. So if you have been impacted by what's going on right now, I would implore you to apply for the EIDL if you need some assistance at this time. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the EIDL in a minute. I'm going to talk about the PPP first because I didn't apply for that, and so I don't really know exactly the full process for it because I hadn't been through it myself. But we're going to go over what it is and see if that's going to be a fit for you. So the PPP is the Payment Protection Program loan. So mind you, both of these are actually loans. The PPP is a forgivable loan. The EIDL is forgivable to a certain extent. There is up to a $10,000 grant that you can get that is going to be forgivable with that. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. But the PPP loan is forgivable if you meet certain criteria. So there's some debate lately about what that criteria is and if these loans will actually be forgiven, and the terms are a little bit different than the EIDL. So we'll go over both of them just to see which one will fit best for you if you are a small business owner. So the PPP loan is available for up to 2.5 times your average monthly payroll expenses. So they're looking at the year prior to this year, so 2019, what your 2.5 times your average monthly payroll. So if you don't have any employees, there's really no reason for you to apply for the PPP loan because that's not going to be for you. Now, the PPP loan will be forgiven. The entire loan will be forgiven if employers keep their people employed for 8 weeks, and if the funds are used for payroll, rent, mortgage, interest, or utilities. Now, you can use it for any one of those things, but if you don't have employees, you won't have a payroll. And if you don't have a payroll, then you won't get that maximum loan amount. So it says any portion of the loan that is not forgiven, so it's going to forgive a certain portion of the loan based on that criteria, but any portion of the loan that is not forgiven is going to be treated as a 2-year loan, and that's going to be with a 1% fixed interest rate. So you won't have to make any payments for up to 6 months, and it's going to be a 1% fixed interest rate. So that's pretty good in terms of loans. It's basically free money. I mean, even though you're going to have to pay it back, but the interest is not going to be as robust as getting a conventional business loan. All right, so who qualifies for the PPP? So the PPP has very strict guidelines in terms of who applies for that. However, the vast majority of small businesses would meet the criteria for this. So if you have been in operation as of February the 15th, 2020, that's this year, if you have 500 or less employees, regardless of your revenue, if you're a sole proprietorship, or if you are an independent contractor, or if you are a self-employed individual that does different things and has different business things, even if you are like a gig person, if you do different gigs and different things like that, you can apply for this. If you are a nonprofit entity under Section 510(c)(3) and you have 500 or less employees. So those are some of the criteria that you need to apply for this loan. It's very vague, but it's very specific in the same sense, because you do have to meet this criteria in order to be approved for this loan. So I didn't apply for this loan because the business that me and my sister have is just me and my sister. We don't have a payroll. It's just us two. So the payroll protection program wasn't really for us. Now, the PPP loan, you do have to actually go through your bank. So if you bank with Bank of America or a small local bank, you do have to apply through your local bank in order to be eligible for this loan. So you can also go through like PayPal, Cabbage. You can go through Cabbage. You can go through Square. There's a bunch of different other companies that you can go through that you may do business with, but you don't necessarily realize, think about it. A lot of people use PayPal. You don't realize that they are essentially a bank, but they do allow you to apply if you do use these services. Now let's talk about the EIDL loan. That is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. This is the loan that I actually applied for, and I actually was able to get that grant. I didn't get the $10,000, but I did get a grant. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But this EIDL loan actually offers an advance up to $10,000 that does not have to be repaid. That is very, very, very good if you are a business that is struggling right now and need some extra cash just to get you through a couple of months or a couple of weeks, and you can apply for this loan. Now this is a loan, but you can get that up to $10,000 advance. Now the SBA, of course, they're figured out a way to screw it up. What they interpreted that is, they're going to allow you to get a grant of up to $1,000 per employee. So this is very specific. If you go in and you do the application, make sure you are including how many employees you have. Now you may be thinking, what's an employee? So if it's you, yourself, and your spouse doing business, let's say you're eBay sellers or FBA sellers, then that's going to be 2 employees. That's going to be yourself and that's going to be your spouse. That's 2 employees. You would get $2,000. Whenever I applied for the loan, that guidance wasn't there about the employees. So I actually didn't put down that we had any employees because I thought employees meant, some people that you put on payroll. That's why we didn't apply for the Payroll Protection Program. But if hindsight, I would have put down 2 employees as myself and my sister, and we would have gotten $2,000. That is free money. You don't have to repay that money because that is a grant. Now, the way that this works is that it is an advance of the loan. Now, they will go through and they will process your loan application, and they will go through and run your credit, but you may not get the loan. You may be denied for the loan. You may not accept the loan. You may not accept the full amount of the loan. And even if you don't accept the loan, or if you get denied for the loan, you do get to keep that grant money. So that's why I encourage anybody that's a small business, self-employed, you're out here, you're doing merchandiser, you're doing gigs, you're doing DoorDash, you're doing, all these different small businesses that people do, and don't necessarily think of yourself as a small business. You are. I would implore you to apply for the EIDL grant when it comes live. Now I'm going to show you a little bit about the website and what you need to do to make sure that you're ready here in just a minute. So the EIDL provides loans of up to $2 million. Now, if you've seen the news, you've seen a lot of these other places, these larger small businesses that have actually given their money back because they said they felt bad because they were taken away from actual small businesses. But I've not seen anybody get a loan up to that amount. The people that have been sharing how much they've gotten approved for, I've seen 180,000, I've seen 80,000, I've seen 75,000, I've seen 13,000, I've seen 17,000. Those are the ranges of what people have been approved for. Now, myself, the only thing that I got in my bank account was the grant amount. It was $1,000. I got direct deposit into my account. However, I didn't get any, there was no email, there was no call, there was no nothing. It just popped up in my account one day. So if you apply for this, don't expect to have any kind of email or anything saying, hey, you was able to get this grant, or you're going to get this amount. It's going to be strictly based on your place in line and how much funding is available at that time. If you will get that money, that grant up to $10,000, $1,000 per employee. All right, another cool fact about the EIDL is that the EIDL of $25,000 or less requires you to have no collateral. So if you get a $25,000 loan from the EIDL, you don't have to put up any collateral for that $25,000. Also, one thing to think about is if you were to get the EIDL grant, which is going to be that $10,000 or up to $10,000 or that $1,000 per employee, that is not going to be in addition to your loan amount. So if you had 2 employees and you got $2,000 as the grant, and then you applied for the loan, and say you got $10,000 as your loan, they're only going to give you $8,000 additional cash, because that will bring you to $10,000 for the actual loan itself. So keep that in mind whenever you're accepting the amount, or if you get to the portal where it tells you how much money you are approved or eligible for. All right, so the requirements for the EIDL is very similar to the PPP. You have to have 500 or less employees. You can have more than 500 employees as long as you meet certain other standards, as we've seen some other places like Ruth Chris, a couple different other places actually got the EIDL loan, while a lot of other small businesses are still struggling and can't get anything. You have to be organized for profit. You have to primarily be operating in the United States, and you contribute to the U.S. economy through taxes and different things like that. You can be independently owned and operated. You can also be a private nonprofit organization, or you can be a 501c19 veteran organization. So it's very broad in terms of who can apply for this. As long as you meet that criteria, I would say go ahead and apply. So the EIDL and the PPP is both going to be first come, first serve. So what that means is that whenever this website goes live, so President Trump just signed this into law essentially today. So that portal could go live at any time. So I would tell you that you need to go ahead and make sure that you are ready to apply for this whenever it goes live. Whenever I applied for it, this is my story. I applied for it. There was a first round that came through and everybody applied for it, and then they made a new website for it, and they wanted all those people that applied for it to reapply on the new website because the old website didn't work. So whenever the new website came up, it was on a Sunday night. I actually got on there and applied, and I didn't hear anything back. Of course, I applied. My number was like 111,000. And whenever I applied, I was just waiting because the law says you're supposed to get the money, the grant money, in 3 days after you had submitted your application. So I waited. Of course, I didn't get anything for about a week and a half or 2 weeks before I actually got that $1,000 into my account. Now, whenever I got the $1,000, I was expecting to get some sort of email or call or something, and I didn't get anything. It's just the $1,000 came to my account, and that's what has happened to a lot of people. Now, there are some people that was able to actually get a loan amount. I don't know if any of them got actually funded, but I know a lot of people did get loan amounts. Whenever you do get approval for your loan, they send you an invitation to get into a portal, and whenever you sign to that portal, it kind of tells you what you are eligible for, and you just got like a little slide thing where you can tell exactly how much of a loan that you want to get, or if you don't want no loan at all, just keep the grant. You can do that. So the application process is very simple. Hopefully it's still the same streamlined application. Something you can pull up on your cell phone and do, and it takes you no more than 5 minutes to fill out. Some things you're gonna need, of course, your social security number, your birth date, your birthplace, your citizenship status, as well as your street address. I would have your EIN handy. If you have one, you don't have to have an EIN, but if you have one, I will have that handy. I would also have your revenue for last year, as well as your cost of goods sold. If you have those available, I would get those, because that is one of the questions that's on there. It also asks you how many employees you have. This is very important because that's going to tell how much free grant money that you're going to get. So if you have 3 employees, put 3 down, that's going to be $3,000. If you have 5 employees, it's going to be $5,000. If you have one employee being yourself, you're going to get $1,000. Make sure you put yourself as an employee. I actually put 0 on the application, and I still got the $1,000. I guess because I applied, so I physically had to be a person to apply for it. That's why I got the $1,000. So make sure that whenever you get down to the last page of the application, make sure you click the little checkbox that says I want to be considered for the $10,000 advance, because that's going to be the only way they're going to send that $10,000 to your account. The next thing you put in is your direct deposit information. Make sure you have all that stuff handy, because seconds, minutes, and even seconds is going to be very crucial as to if you are going to get this loan. This is why. So this came out the very first time. A lot of people were apprehensive to apply for it because they didn't know if they were eligible for it. They didn't know about the repayment of it, but they did know that they needed some aid. But there was a very small percentage of small businesses that actually applied for it the first time. Now since everybody has been talking about it, everybody kind of understands what the process is. Everybody knows, watching YouTube videos showing the process of how to get this money. There's going to be double, triple, even quadruple amounts of small businesses that's going to apply for this. So the amount of money is a lot more than what it was before, because they actually approved the grant money separately from the loan money. And so there's going to be a lot more funds available, but there's going to be a lot more businesses that's going to apply. Now, I think the people that applied the first time are still going to be in line to be processed. So I don't believe you're going to benefit anyway from applying again this second time. Now, if you didn't hear anything the first time, you didn't get the grant and you didn't get a loan, or you didn't get considered for a loan, I would go ahead and apply again. I don't think it will hurt anything to apply. If anything, you'll have 2 applications. So they will process the first one and they will see your second one, and you already, you know, processed the first one. So I wouldn't have any qualms about applying again. I'm probably going to apply again, and this time put the 2 employees, since it's myself and my sister, and hopefully maybe I'll get the other $1,000 grant money that I should have gotten the first time. All right, so the EIDL, the repayment terms are as follows. The repayment will be 3% up to 30 years. So that's almost essentially free. You have 30 years to pay back this money with the 3% interest rate up to that amount. You don't have to do that. So if you got, you know, a $50,000 loan for 30 years, you know, your payment is not going to be that much. Now, you will be paying on for 30 years, but you know, right now, if you just needed to get it on that 30 years to just to kind of get you from point A to point B, and then you can get that money paid down, of course, before that 30 years, it's going to be great. So that is going to be it for today, guys. I hope you got some value out of this. I'm going to be making some more videos about the EIDL and the PPP as things kind of progress on. Hopefully I get that email where they're going to fund my loan. We are going to take it because we have been impacted a little bit. We've lost about 40% of our income because we do have a brick and mortar store that had to close. It's been closed now for about 3 weeks. So luckily our eBay has been kind of booming a little bit, so it's kind of taken up a little bit of that, but we did take a little bit of a hit because we did have to actually close our store. If you like these types of videos, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Also hit that bell icon so you can get notifications whenever I release new videos. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.